6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Anjana Dudamgada and read by Rumesh Perez. The headlines. The President envisions Sri Lanka exporting green energy by 2030. The head of state addresses cricket crisis and voices concerns over criticizing judges inside Parliament. The case against the SLC Interim Committee further postponed. The Minister of Transport responds to the highway strike. Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment announces jobs in Japan's nursing care sector. In foreign news, Israel and Hamas agree first truce, 50 hostages to go free in swamp. In sports, 71-year-old Akila Tirunayage wins 3 medals in Philippines. Now the local news in detail. Addressing the Sri Lanka Green Hydrogen Symposium 2023 yesterday, President Ranil Wickremesinghe outlined a comprehensive vision for Sri Lanka's role in addressing climate change, emphasizing sustainable practices and embracing cutting-edge green energy technologies. President Wickremesinghe opened his speech by drawing attention to the alarming findings of the UNF emission report for 2023. Expressing concern over the potential 3 degrees Celsius global temperature increase by the end of the century, he underscored the need for immediate global action, lamenting the unfulfilled emission reduction promises of developed nations. Sri Lanka's commitment to the cause was a focal point in the President's discourse. He articulated 2 key objectives, advocating for the 1.5 degrees Celsius target at COP28 and showcasing the nation's commitment to contributing significantly, irrespective of its lower pollution levels compared to the more industrialized countries. The case filed pertaining to the Sri Lanka Cricket Interim Committee is due to be taken up for further consideration before the Court of Appeal on 23rd of November. On the 16th of November, the Court of Appeal issued an order that the relevant case be taken up before a new panel of judges after Judge Neil Idabala recused himself from the case. The case was subsequently forwarded to the President of the Court of Appeal, Judge Nisanka Bandula Karunaratne, in order to name a new panel of judges. Thus, the case was slated to be heard before an appellate court bench comprising of Judges Subita Rajakaruna and D.N. Samarakon, as per a decision made by the President of the Court of Appeal. Minister of Transport and Highways, Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, announced in Parliament that Sri Lanka's expressway will not be sold or leased out. Minister Gunawardena assured that those engaged in the expressway sector will not lose their jobs. He further said that legal action will be initiated if the country's income is affected by the token strike launched by the All-Island Expressway Union today. The minister pointed out that it was a serious issue for the government to incur a loss like this at a time when the nation was facing a crisis. His comments come after the All-Island Expressway Union launched a one-day token strike based on 3 key demands today. Following the strike, the security forces were deployed at expressways across the country for security purposes and to carry out operations at toll gates. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe revealed that over 8.5 billion rupees in total have been transferred to the respective banks to be credited to the accounts of Aswesuma beneficiaries for the month of September. Accordingly, a total of 8,571 million rupees has been transferred to the relevant bank accounts, the State Minister said, adding that the payments will be credited to the accounts of 1,377,000 beneficiary families from tomorrow onwards. Meanwhile, speaking with regard to the appeals and objections filed, Samarasinghe noted that upon the completion of the reviewing process of these appeals, those deemed eligible too will receive the Aswesuma benefits effective from July. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment has announced employment opportunities in Japan's nursing care sector. Issuing a notice, the SLBC said employment opportunities are available for male and female Sri Lankans in the said sector under Japan's Specified Skilled Worker Program. Those interested in applying have been requested to send the relevant certificates and documents to the email sswrp@slbfe.lk by 4:30 p.m. on or before 30th of November. And that concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Moving on to the main news story. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says Sri Lankan cricket crisis should be resolved by bringing in relevant laws to select the most suitable persons for the administration of the sport. Delivering a special statement in Parliament earlier today, the head of state refuted the claims alleging that he is protecting Shami Silva, the president of Sri Lanka Cricket, and other higher-ups in the cricket governing body. Saying that the country's cricket ordeal is a long-standing issue, Wickremesinghe attributed the downfall of the sport to the power struggle between two groups. The President said he asked the Sports Minister not to get involved in a legal battle with the cricket administration, as it could lead to a ban from the International Cricket Council and cause a setback in the country's tourism. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And in Watchlight this evening, the President's Media Division reported recently on the directives of President Ranil Wickremesinghe plans a temporary access way at Bambalapitiya railway station erected. Passenger overhead bridge, which was in unsafe conditions, was removed as a result. Due to the construction work and non-removal of debris of defunct bridge, a heavy traffic is caused. This had created high risk for pedestrians as well as motorists using Canada Friendship Road daily. The urgent attention of the Road Development Authority is drawn to resolve issue. Emphasizing its urgent necessity, the President has also instructed to complete the new flyover within 5 months. And that came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news is coming up. First, the headlines. Israel and Hamas agree first truce and 50 hostages to go free in swap. South Korea boosts surveillance after North launches spy satellite. Indian rescuers closed in on workers trapped in Himalayan tunnel. Now the world news in detail. Israel and Hamas agreed today to a ceasefire in Gaza for at least 4 days to let in aid and release at least 50 hostages captured by militants in exchange for at least 150 Palestinians jailed in Israel. The first truce in a brutal near 7-week-old war, reached after mediation by Qatar, was hailed around the world as a sign of progress that could ease the suffering of Gaza's civilians and bring more Israeli hostages home. Israel said the ceasefire could be extended further as long as more hostages are freed. South Korea today suspended part of a 2018 military agreement with North Korea after it defied warnings from the United States and launched a spy satellite. The suspension of a clause in the agreement will see South Korea step up military surveillance along the heavily fortified border with the North. North Korea said it placed its first spy satellite in orbit on Tuesday. Photographs in state media showed what appeared to be leader Kim Jong-un watching the fiery launch of a rocket from a base. Rescuers hope to drill through the last third of the debris blocking a collapsed tunnel in the Indian Himalayas by early on Thursday to reach 41 workers trapped for 10 days, an official said, so long as there are no new hurdles. The men have been stuck in the 4.5-kilometer tunnel in Uttarakhand state since it caved in early on the 12th of November and are safe, authorities have said, with access to light, oxygen, food, water and medicines. Back to the headlines of the world news. Israel and Hamas agree first truce, 50 hostages to go free in swap. South Korea boosts surveillance after North launches spy satellite. And Indian rescuers close in on workers trapped in Himalayan tunnel. And that concludes world news.
Development news.
In development news, Industry TV, Sri Lanka's first electronic television channel for the industry sector, has been launched under a joint project by Industry Ministry and the Industrial Development Board. The channel was launched under the patronage of Minister of Industry and Health, Dr. Ramesh Patirana, and State Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, Prasanna Ranavira, yesterday to coincide with World Television Day. The new channel, which aims to build an export-oriented manufacturing economy in the country, will be broadcasting on Pure TV on channel number 130 and will operate under the theme Your Winning Line And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
In sports news, 71-year-old Sri Lankan athlete Akila Tirinayagi, who participated in the recently concluded Masters Athletics Championship held in the Philippines, has brought pride to the nation by winning 2 gold medals and 1 bronze medal. A former prison officer, Tirinayagi, won first place in the 1500-meter and 5000-meter races, while she grabbed the bronze medal in the 800-meter race. She also participated in the 400-meter race, in which she ended in the 4th position, losing out on a podium finish. Akila Tirinayagi, hailing from Mulyavale village in Mullaitivu, has not only brought pride to Sri Lanka through winning medals, but has made it evident that age is no barrier to achievement. And that was sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
And moving on to business news, Facets Sri Lanka 2024, Asia's leading gem and jewellery exhibition organised by the Sri Lanka Gem and Jewellery Association, is proud to announce the unveiling of the country's first ever sustainability pavilion. This groundbreaking initiative is set to captivate and educate visitors from around the world, offering a unique glimpse into the rich history of the Sri Lankan gem industry and its modern commitment to ethical practices, responsible sourcing and community engagement. And that came to you in Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to economic news. As one of the main development partners, Government of Japan extends the hand of friendship to Sri Lanka whenever the help is needed. Accordingly, amid the present economic crisis situation, Government of Japan has donated various aids to Sri Lanka to ensure the food security, quality of healthcare facilities and social well-being of the people. The fisheries sector in Sri Lanka has the potential to be competitive in the global markets and increase employment opportunities, food security and export earnings in a sustainable manner. In line with the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Policy Framework, the government envisages achieving the objectives of increased per capita fish consumption, reduced post-harvest loss, generated employment opportunities, improved quality of life of the fisher community, increased foreign exchange and ensure long-term sustainability of the fisheries industry. And that was economic news. The weather report is coming up next.
Weather report.
And finally, moving on to the weather report, the Meteorology Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in most provinces of the island tonight. Very heavy showers, about 75 millimeters, are likely at some places in the central, Sabaragamuwa, Uva, southern, western and northwestern provinces. Showers may occur at some places in the western provinces and in Putlam district during the morning too. And that was the weather report. And now to conclude this news broadcast, a recap of the news headlines. The President envisions Sri Lanka exporting green energy by 2030. The head of state addresses cricket crisis and voices concerns over criticizing judges inside Parliament. The case against the SLBC interim committee further postponed. The Minister of Transport responds to the highway strike. Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment announces jobs in Japan's nursing care sector. In foreign news, Israel and Hamas agrees first truce, 50 hostages to go free in swap. In sports, 71-year-old Akila Tirinayagi wins 3 medals in Philippines. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast with the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And the time is coming up to 29 minutes past 6 o'clock.
In order for you to invoke blessings upon your family and the nation at large, with the sponsoring of the delivery of the sermon by the Mahasangha on the airwaves of National Radio, get in touch with us. to be a part of this meritorious deed by calling us on 0112 696 271 on weekdays between 9 and 3. The meritorious contribution for the Dharma exceeds all other meritorious deeds. Be a part of this meritorious contribution.
Coffee Hour. Welcome to Coffee with our morning host. We broadcast a host of programs like current topics, newspaper headlines, and music on Radio Sri Lanka. Tune in every weekday from 7 to 8 a.m.
For exceptional English original songs to grace our airwaves. If you're an aspiring artist, we want to hear from you. Send us your finest creations to slbc.ad.net@gmail.com or call our hotline 0112 696 452. Send us your originals today and let the magic unfold.
And with the time just coming up to 31 minutes past 6 o'clock, good evening and a warm welcome to Radio Sri Lanka, broadcasting on 97.4 and 97.6 FM island-wide and on the web www.slbc.lk. A warm welcome indeed, and as always, good to have the pleasure of your company. And we're going to have a musical miscellany next, and coming up at 8:45 is the final news bulletin of the day, followed by at 9 o'clock, it's Family Choice, and you know the drill, and you can call me on 2694316, that is 2694316, to get your requests and dedications played out on air. Right now, it's Musical Miscellany.